got John Wedger, former Met detective and a whistleblower, about the long-running rape gang problem we've had in the city. Now, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, finally seems to have got onto the roundabout and worked out, oh yes, maybe we do have a problem. But John has been, well, basically shouting about this for many years now, to no avail. Only recently, Sadiq Khan acted in the London Assembly like he said, I don't know what you're talking about. He was asked by Susan Hall, the Tory leader, said, you know, rape gangs, grooming gangs. He said, do you mean county line gangs? He said, no, rape gangs, grooming gangs. You've probably seen it in the papers, might have read about it, you know, maybe on the telly. He acted like he'd never even heard of it. He now seems to be changing his tune. He's finally accepting that maybe, just maybe, the capital city of this country has the same problem as lots of other cities and towns around the country. That is that grooming gangs are operating, preying on children, child sex abusers. Well, as I say, John Wedger is with us now. John, thanks for coming in. Why do you think Sadiq Khan took so long to acknowledge what you've been talking about for years?
Well, when I started getting national media attention, my name started getting out there. But on social media, I'm well known. I'm well known really in a lot of the working class areas of this country for my stance on it. So people know who I am, and I've been calling out for victims and survivors to be coming forward and reporting their crimes to the police, whether they do anything or not. And I think that when this actually sort of ended up getting into the households of the United Kingdom, I think the Met Police were flooded and inundated with victims and survivors reporting their crimes. And I think they were outraged at what the response of the mayor was to this problem, the total dissonance that it doesn't go on.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like deja vu. This was the problem in the north. This was the problem when the scourge of rape gang activity first arrived, or first raised its ugly head, because authorities, coppers, social workers, local politicians all turned their backs and acted like it wasn't happening. Sadiq Khan did this until very, very recently. I mean, to what extent are you responsible for the fact that the Met Police has now turned around and said we may have 9,000 historic cases to look into?
I like to think that collectively we've been highly instrumental in this change. Whether they'll admit to it, we'll never know. But as a result of what we've done, you know, we're now known throughout, you know, let's say this is a collective media campaign throughout the UK for our stance on this sort of anti-child grooming gangs rhetoric. Whereas there has just been an institutional denial throughout. I just hope that it continues with great momentum.
And you've got the way that they've been operating in this country, in this city rather, in London, in the capital. They've been, these gangs, these awful people, they've been getting kids from children's homes, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It's one of them things where if you don't look for it, you'll never see it. This needs a national crime agency response, and it needs proactivity. You know, I looked into this many years ago, and it'll actually be a lot worse in my opinion, because they haven't got the proactive units to deal with it, because they just shut us down when we get too near the knuckle, as it were. But it took me 10 minutes to find 10 children, and I mean children, girls and boys of all nationalities, that were being, and I'll say it in the vernacular, pimped out. 10 minutes. So if it found me, one person, if I could find 10 in 10 minutes, you think what a national crime agency response could do, you know?
Yeah, well, this is, I think I'm right in saying this is about 6 weeks or so after Sadiq Khan said, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Grooming against rape? Do you mean county lines? Well, Met Police, thanks to you, I think, John, are now investigating 9,000 historic cases. And Sadiq Khan finally is now at least ostensibly acknowledging there may well be a problem here. He says that this is a statement from the mayor. Any individuals, groups or grooming gangs exploiting children for sex are utterly abhorrent. Yeah, well, thanks, Sadiq. I think we can all agree on that. And I want justice for every single victim of these horrific crimes. These children have not only suffered terrible abuse at the hands of the perpetrators, but have also been woefully let down by the authorities meant to protect them from harm. Do you think that would include him?
Yeah, I was going to say woefully let down by him.
Yeah.
His response to Susan Hall was just insulting to victims and survivors of the most appalling crime. You think the damage that is done to these people, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. How many suicides are connected to childhood abuse? It's just unbelievable. For me, policing in respect to children must be the priority. You must put children first. And I think that his U-turn, or his admission that something is going on, is done out of shame. I think he's been inundated with probably hate mail, victims and survivors speaking in, and same with the Metropolitan Police, and I think it's pure shame that's made him do this.
And for the avoidance of doubt, right now children are being abused here in the capital city.
Of course. And it wouldn't take, because I put out a challenge when I was on your show last time, that I will get Mark Rowley and I'll show you how big this problem is, and I will also show you how to deal with it. And I did the same thing to Khan. If you really want to deal with it, I'll show you how to deal with it. So to put my money where my mouth was, I went out with an investigative journalist, and within 90 minutes we found a young girl that had been doing this sort of crime from the age of 14. We were then told of 3 other young kids that were on the streets of the East End of London, and when I approached the working girls and said, do you ever see police down here? They all said no, they never come down here and look for kids.
And you say that children's homes are involved in this. So are the authorities, the people who run the children's homes, are they guilty, or
the whole thing's a sham, because what happens is they offset the kids into these sort of looked after venues, right? There is a term for them. So they're sort of in their sort of teen years, and where they should be in proper regulated kids homes, which are governed by Ofsted, there is these organisations that are totally independent that set themselves up as care homes. They're not regulated by Ofsted. They cash in on it, £2,000 per child per week. Some of them can have up to 6 kids. You're talking serious money. And where is the welfare for the kids? There is none. And once the kids are in there, they're predated on, not only by those that know that it's a children's home, but the sad thing is they also encourage the other kids that are involved in this criminality to get the new ones that come into the homes involved in it.
How long ago should Sadiq Khan have acknowledged that the capital city, London, has a big rape gang?
Well,
how long ago should he?
He should have inherited it. He should have taken it on from Boris Johnson, and Ken Livingstone should have done the same. He should have known from the first day he walked into office that this was going on.
I mean, you're angry with Sadiq Khan, aren't you?
Oh, absolutely raging. Yeah, no, he should have been removed. He is not protecting society's most vulnerable, and it's the children. He's not doing it.
And you know the children's homes involved.
Yeah.
Have you supplied that list to the Met Police?
Yeah. I've supplied that list, and the Met Police had it anyway, right? And then when I initially supplied it to them, I was threatened with the loss of my home, my job, and my children if I spoke out. So this was this is what angered me. The Daily Standard brought out an article today, and there was a Met Police's response to this, and they said that we take all allegations seriously. We will deal with them with the utmost severity. We will track down the offenders. We will arrest them, and we will prosecute them. It's a lie. I mean, that is just a corporate response. If the public really knew the truth, with that statement that was in the Standard, if they compared that to the statement that was said to me, if you mention a word of this, you will lose your home, your job, your children. Who's telling the truth and who's lying? You know?
Exactly. How many kids do you think will be involved in the...
So many. I mean...
When you say so many,
take the London Borough of Haringey. It had 26 kids' homes. The average kid home had 5 children. Out of that, probably 3/4 of the children were involved in being...
So that borough by borough, you're talking about hundreds of kids?
Maybe thousands. We'll never know.
In the London...
We'll never know.
It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. I mean, yeah, Khan, though, at least is at the races now, but better late than never, I suppose, John. But
I think we've done an amazing job, and I just hope the momentum keeps going, because we know the truth.
John, great work by you. Well done. John Wedger there, former Met detective and whistleblower as well, who's been trying to tell Sadiq Khan about this for years.